Hey guys, before I start my topic of the week, just wanted to show off a few things I found at the thrift store yesterday. I was just shopping around with my mom when I should have been recording this or, doing more productive things. But I got Pokeballs and this Pokédex thing that I'm not really sure what it is. I've never seen one before, but I guess it's a trivia thing. But this is it. And I got these Pokeballs. And I used to collect these when I was a little kid, and I can't get it. There you go. It's Charizard. Oh, and this one's broken. But, it's Pikachu. But yeah, they were only, the Pokédex thing and the Pokeballs were only $3 each, so I was literally like flailing around in the store. It was ridiculous. My mom was like making fun of me, and I wish someone had that on camera. It was hilarious, I guess. But yeah, they're a bit scuffed up and old, but I haven't seen them since I was a kid. I used to have Mewtwo, but I'm thinking of repainting them, maybe, refurbishing them a little bit, so that'll make it look a lot nicer. And they put stickers on them, so I'm kind of pissed off about that, but I'll be able to get them off. It's Pikachu and Charizard, so who cares? Alright, we can go back on topic now. It's been a little over a week since The Sims 3 University Life was released, and I just want to talk about that a little bit. I was lucky enough to get it the day it came out, the night, like 5 minutes before midnight, and I was super stoked because I've never been able to do that. I can never afford the games right when they come out, so that was super cool. But thanks to a friend for that, actually, that got it for me. But yeah, I was so excited. I'm weird. Anyways, on to my thoughts. When I first started playing, I was a little confused on how it all worked. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get my sim to the college, so of course I read the lessons for the expansion first. And it took me a couple of minutes to figure out how to get my sim off to college, but once I did, I was pretty impressed. The graphics were, as usual, just gorgeous, and I loved the new zone and all the buildings and everything. It was just stunning. Everything was so clear and beautiful, which that's like my favorite part of The Sims 3 in general. I played the game for a few hours, and I'd set my sim up as a communication major because she's a journalist, and I gave her the lowest amount of credits spaced over 2 terms so I could just get a feel for the gameplay of university before I just jumped right in and worked at it, at actually getting her degree. I don't know, I was a little disappointed at first. It didn't really seem like there was much to get excited over. I cheated a little bit. I bought my sim some reputation with the Rebel social group using the lifetime experience points. I don't know if you've noticed you can do that yet. And I think that was what ruined it for me because I didn't have to work towards it, or I didn't have to do anything my sim would usually do, and I didn't get to really see where she would fit best just by her usual behavior, which kind of sucked, but I did enjoy the social networking capabilities with it, though, for this sim especially, since she's a journalist. It was the first thing from the expansion in general that I really enjoyed, but I didn't want to base my entire opinion on that small aspect. I've been playing that sim and that household for a few weeks beforehand, so most of her story was already mapped out, and it left a little room for me to play with, so I made a new sim, and I named her Shay. I sent Shay to college right away, majoring in technology due to her lifetime want to be an international super spy. If you've read the Ugly series, it's Ugly's Pretty Specials and Extras by Scott Westerfeld. I based her off of the Shay in those stories. I decided to move her into a dorm, giving her her own room instead of like sharing with a roommate, because I don't think she'd like that. She's a little hot-headed and not very social. Once I started playing with this sim, I don't know, I was just able to map out her future as she went through college, which made things a lot more fun for me. And I started to notice a lot of the things I missed before that I really do enjoy now about the game. One of those things is the new skill, street art, the graffiti skill, which I love graffiti art in real life, so, well, if it's done right. There's some that's just retarded, but my sim was mostly a rebel and a bit of a nerd and a little bit of a jock as well, but she started street art and I was just amazed at how fun it was to just leave your designs all over the campus, and then they like remain there until you decide to remove them. It's great. I mean, even when she came back for a second term, her designs were still covering the front campus administration center, like right in that little courtyard thing. And then the night before her final exams, when she needed to be studying, I had her stop at that bowling place that I've never even gone into because she's not a bowling kind of person. She would find that lame. So she stopped and did a ground mural in the back parking lot and got caught by the cops, and that was just hilarious because the little icon came up saying someone's watching you, and I was just like, what, are there creepers in The Sims now? What's going on? And then she got arrested, and I was like, she needs to study. Why? She needs to be studying. She's gonna not have any time to study, and then she's gonna fail at her exams, and she's not gonna get any sleep, and everything's just gonna turn out terrible. But the cop just took her to her house and let her go, and I managed to get it all done, and she got straight A's, so that was cool. But yeah, I also played around with the other new skill, social networking a bit more, and blogging, and she didn't do so well with blogging. No one found her survival guide interesting. But what I really enjoyed was setting the picture text and admirer text and just the general new ways to be social. Those were pretty fun, and she only had one friend throughout her time in college, but it was still a blast. Oh, and she gained rep in her different social groups, so every time she did, she got new skins for her fancy pants smartphone, so that was cool. Another part that was added to the social interactions that's one of my new favorite features is the ability to play video games online with friends, which that's one of my favorite things to do in real life, so of course, as soon as I figured you could do it out in game, that's the first thing I had her do, and you can actually like choose who you want to play with, or you can just play online and they'll just match you up with someone, and it refills your social and fun moves at the same time, while also giving you a nerd rep boost, so how much more awesome can that get? I find it kind of cool that you get to attend the Tuesday and Thursday classes. Like Tuesday is you go and you work with your skill object, whichever it is for your major, and Thursdays are lectures. And just like in regular school, in university, when you go to the rabbit hole places for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can choose to work hard or work normal, take it easy, suck up to the professor, text friends, socialize, or even sleep during class, which surprisingly fills up your energy motive pretty quickly. I had to do that once or twice because she's just an overachiever and never slept. I also like that they added ways to make simoleons while in college. You could go to the art center or even the science center, and you could pose nude, or you could sell plasma or other things. I think it was saliva was one of the other things you could sell. But there's also a job board that lets you take quick part-time jobs that are basically like opportunities. And then there's also dare and social group opportunities that you can find on that board as well. I liked that you could take your laptop with you wherever you went and use it to study, or you could study from your smartphone too. That was pretty cool. And I don't know how I feel about the whole leniency of the grading though. I mean, in The Sims 2, you had to study for hours. You had to do assignments. You had to write a term paper. You had to attend your classes, and then, you know, if you were full by the time of the end of the term, you could miss a class or two. But it seems like in The Sims 3 University, it's just attend a few classes, study once or twice, and you're done. There's no term papers, there's no assignments. and it doesn't even seem like you need to have any certain skill levels to proceed through the terms. So I don't know though. I worked on my skills a little bit, but it just, I don't think you really needed to, and that made me grumpy that you didn't really have to focus on it. But anyways, all the hype on the game's super fun time college party atmosphere, it just seemed a bit much to me because it wasn't all that exciting in the game. I mean, there were the parties, but it's just like in late night when you go to a party, you just go and then nothing happens. You show up at their house and you're like, you went to a party, yay, and you don't even get to see it. But I had my own party and wasn't that fun either. So, I was also a bit disappointed in the graduation ceremony. If you were expecting something awesome to watch, like the actual ceremony, like a cutscene from Sims 2, you're going to be pretty sad-faced because when you graduate, your sim enters a rabbit hole building just like her classes or his classes, and it goes on for a few hours while graduation music plays, and then that's it. But your sim will do an adorable little dance when they leave the building, so that's pretty cool. Another cool part is the ability to choose another trait for your sim upon graduation and once you make it high enough in a certain social group. So that's 2 new traits you can get. And if you make it to that level in all 3 social groups, you don't get to choose 3 traits, just one. So don't try if that's what you're going for. One thing I really didn't get was the insertion of plant sims in this X pack. It didn't make sense. I mean, I would have expected it in the Seasons pack. There are a lot of fun things you can do in this X-Pack and throughout your college life, so you have to play for yourself for a little bit and just explore it all and try all the new things. And it really is a blast once you get the hang of it. Just don't forget to make your sim study. The little bar next to your courses, there's a little green bar, you have to watch it and make sure it's out by Friday, or you might not pass your exams, I don't know. An important note. Once your sim chooses their housing upon their arrival to university, they don't get to move out of that building. There is absolutely no way you can move out of that building throughout the term. So you would have to wait until you go home for the end of the term, and then you can choose once you come back. So make sure you like where you're choosing. I suggest that you go through the dorm first because if you're just starting and trying to get the hang of the game, I'd suggest you go through the dorm because you can sell the furniture there and then buy yourself, nicer furniture. Plus, you'll have more to start with if you go through a dorm instead of a house, I think. And just do that for your first term if you're just trying to get the feel of the university. And then go back your second term and get a house. Because either option's really nice, but I just found it a lot easier to start with a dorm. Overall, I would rate the game a 7 out of 10, I think. There could have been more, but I'm pretty happy with the way the game turned out. I mean, if you haven't picked up your copy yet, I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the money if you're a Sims fan. One last thing that I noticed that I just had to add an addendum to in this video because I was just playing it the other day and I was like, what is this? Why? The graduation notes. I think you get one in your inventory, I think it's the first semester, like when you start college, I think you get one in your inventory. They're so weird. I don't know if it's because I went to 2 terms or whatever, but my sim has like 2 graduation gnomes and a mysterious gnome that just shows up when you put your graduation gnomes on your lot. And they are creepy. They move around. They're super creepy. But I named my first one Wilbur and my second one Fausto, but they still seriously, they creep me out. I'm tempted to sell them, but they're too cute. Alright, well, thanks for listening, and if you have any questions or need some tips for the game, just comment below and I'll answer. Feel free to subscribe. I put out new videos every Friday or whenever I'm bored.